Hi everyone, it's Roger and James here from the What's on Disney Pus Podcast. In this week's episode, we've got quite a lot to be talking about. We're going to be talking about 20th Century Studios and Fox Searchlight, having kind of their Fox names taken away. We're going to be talking about a lot of new shows and stuff going on because it's been the Television Critics Association press week for the winter. So it's been like a week of loads of information coming out. So we're going to go through that. We'll be talking about our thoughts on Diary of a Future President. And yeah, just in general, we've got quite a few bits and pieces on the list. We'll be talking a little bit maybe about, I'll be talking a little bit about Peacock. We'll be talking about some of the trailers, including Stargo and Morpheus and a few other bits and pieces. So before we go any further, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who is already subscribed to the channel, either on YouTube or also on podcast services yet. So if you subscribe, you kind of keep up with all the latest ones. Also, be sure to check out our Facebook group as well. We are literally just like a few thousand people away from hitting 100,000 members. So definitely want to be a member of that. And also a big thank you to our Patreons as well for supporting the show. So a big thank you to Andrew, also to Giuseppe, to Julie, to What's on Netflix, and also Ian. So yeah, big thank you to all of their support. Really does make a big difference to kind of making sure the podcast version continues on as it is. So without that, let's jump into some of the news. The big one really, I think, before we get into the Fox one, there was something that came up yesterday which I was waiting for overnight to see what was happening. There was a rumor that got circulated of an Obi-Wan Kenobi show being cancelled. Went right across the internet. People were messaging me. The trouble is, it came from a parody account of discussing film, and then it kind of blew up, and some of the websites were running the story, and then apparently Ewan McGregor's people have denied the issue and said it's all carrying on, and there's a load of other people going, well, I've been hearing stuff about it, but it's not really, and there was a load of rumors. It's been all over the place. It's kind of been shot down. Even the people that put out the initial tweet, I've even been apologizing about starting it. So yeah, it's just one big mess. This is the trouble sometimes with things like Twitter and stuff. It can spread around like wildfire before there's actually any credible evidence. I know quite often the amount of times you see on Twitter somebody trending, and everyone thinking someone's died, but no one hasn't died, and then there's people going, "Oh no, I thought you died," and that's making it trend even more. So, yeah, it's all fine. It just looked like that was just a wild rumor. Yeah, just one of those things. So let's jump into the big stuff. Fox. So Disney have apparently removed the Fox branding from 20th Century Fox and also Fox Searchlight. This went out, Variety reported on this first because staff that were getting emails and stuff, their email addresses changed to like 21st century or 20th Century Studios and to searchlightpictures.com. The emails had changed. I think like maybe their signatures had changed. And essentially they're just removing the Fox from the logos and from the branding overall, which has kind of got a lot of people. It's kind of one of those things of a lot of people kind of going, "Oh, this is dreadful. They can't get rid of it." And there's a load of other people going, "Yeah, it makes sense. We've not want to be connected to Fox." And then there's some pictures circling around of 20th Century pictures from like 1934 of the logo of what it was like before Fox was created. And it's one of those weird things with this name. If it's been around for 85 years as it is, so we're very established to it. But the trouble is because Fox Entertainment exists with Fox News, Fox Channel, I think it's Fox Sports, etc., there is still this like interconnection between Fox and them. And I think there was something in the license where Disney can still use the 20th Century Fox logos and stuff because they've got the rights to it. But I believe it was a limited kind of thing of how there was only a few many years or something like that. But what did you think of them like dropping the Fox title?
I fall on the side that it was a little faster than I was expecting. We always knew it was going to happen because you need brand unity, and Disney's going to want everything to be Disney, Disney, Disney. I wasn't expecting it to happen quite this fast, but in retrospect, it does make sense for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. The Fox brand, the current Fox brand, the channels that still exist outside the Disney umbrella have a very specific slant to them, and Disney is taking a very different slant with their with their offerings, so it makes sense to distance as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, 20th Century Fox has been around forever, long enough that even when it turned to 21st Century, they're like, no, we're 20th Century. We've had 20th Century for so long, we're just sticking with it.
Yeah, I think 21st Century Fox as a brand, that seems to be dead. They've that seems to have all gone. Because even like that was kind of like the thing. The company was 21st Century Fox, but they kind of were carrying on with it. The fanfare at the beginning is all supposed to be the same. You're still going to have the da-da-da-da, and all the lights, because that's 85. They've brought that. I think it makes a lot of sense. First off, let's talk about like Searchlight. Searchlight, to me, this was the one I was expecting this to happen. It was like, it made the most sense just to drop the Fox off the front, turn it into Searchlight, and let this be the adult cousin of Disney, where they can, because if you looked at the official Disney Studios Facebook page, Twitter, even their official website, they never acknowledge anything that Searchlight do. Whenever a movie comes out over the last 6 to 8 months, when the movies are coming up, they never mention it. When all the award ceremonies all were getting announced, Jojo Rabbit never gets mentioned, or anything that wasn't by 20th Century Fox would be mentioned. Things like Ford versus Ferrari, Breakthrough, that was all being promoted through the main channels. Walt Disney Studios were promoting it, but anything under the Searchlight brand never gets mentioned by Walt Disney Studios. There's a very much like, that is its own separate thing that we don't want interconnected with the Disney branding. And I think, for me personally, I think Searchlight is far better without that Fox title. It can do its own separate thing, and it allows Disney to maybe use that as its adult-orientated small indie films, stuff like that, and keep it away from the Disney branding. But they didn't even push the fact that they got the Oscar nominations. Disney kept there so far, which you'd think they would want to kind of push that, but they didn't.
No, it's funny they didn't push that. But for Searchlight, I think outside of film circles, like people who follow films fairly closely, most people won't even notice the lack of Fox. They noticed it when it was Fox Searchlight, like, oh, this is a Fox, so it's part of Fox. But dropping it, it's Searchlight. Dropping 20th Century Fox to just 20th Century is a much bigger, oh, wait, that's not how I remember it kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think it's like, if you've started off and you've got that logo at the beginning, because I think Disney are going to start using that I think they're going to start using that as a brand. And I don't think they wanted to push it too much to begin with. I think it's going to become a brand like Marvel, where it's a separate entity, but it fits within the Disney banner, because I think that's where I think you're going to start seeing that. I wouldn't even be at all surprised if we even have on Disney Plus, if that's even going to become a thing as one of the five, the five we've got. Where once they've done the rebranding and they've got it out of the way, because I just don't think they wanted to put it out there to begin with. I could see that happening, where that becomes its own separate little mini brand within Disney, and everything safe gets released under that, as while they can kind of do more adult orientated stuff. It does feel like anything really adult orientated could be switched off to Searchlight a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It might not even end up on Disney Plus, though. It might be a Hulu thing. We'll see. All we know is the name changed. Really.
Yeah, for me, it's more. I think this is more about a thing of going forward of a branding. I think it might make more sense again with Hulu of like we said before, like Disney have National Geographic and stuff, or as Hulu's going to start having Searchlight, FX, 20th Century Studios, ABC, Freeform as like a brand, almost like the opposite, the branding of like these are the core things over here of what you're getting on Hulu. Because now you can you start looking at those brands and go, okay, that actually might start making more sense with what they're doing with Hulu. Event in like 2 years' time of having those specific brands fit under the Hulu banner, which I think probably makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, and like I said with the Fox name change earlier, I thought it was going to take a lot longer. So the Hulu swap or however they're going to do Hulu might happen faster than I expected to, because I was thinking on a fairly long timeline.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, in some ways, beginning of a new year. This is the first year that they've got full control over it. There was reports, and I just want to bring up the name of the company that's also kind of interconnected with this as well, of apparently Disney and Fox have kind of come to terms of moving away. I'm just going to bring up the company here. Charmin Entertainment. They've been working with Fox for a long time, and they've split away from 20th Century Fox and Disney, and that apparently means that they've made 24 movies with them since they've been, including Hidden Figures, Ford versus Ferrari, Planet of the Apes franchise, and things like that. They were also involved in Underwater, Spies in Disguise. They've been involved in all like the big ones lately. And they've got over 70 projects from Fox are going to move over with that company to them that they were working on. And even that's basically not connected to an IP that Disney own is moving on. It's very much feels like there's been a bit of and I know they got rid of some international staff as well. There's been a little bit of a Fox clear out like with the start of the new year.
Yeah, it's spring cleaning before spring even starts. There's not much else to stay on it until we see more.
Yeah, I definitely think like generally going forward with Fox, I think we're going to see a lot more changes with the branding, with them moving over and just sorting things out, because a lot of the projects they had lined up, they've cleared a lot out. They're looking at what they want to do with Fox. I mean, generally looks to me like Fox is becoming the core family. I wouldn't say family friendly stuff, but the stuff that falls under the big heavy hitting movies that don't have the Disney logo. I mean, it just looks like they're kind of lining that up, so they don't want them being ridiculously R-rated and stuff, but the Searchlight stuff is the one that they can get away with it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might as well use the brand for something, and you might as well do it for things that you can't do under your normal brand, because they still want to cover the whole market, and even if they don't mention it, it's also where the Oscars are.
Yeah, I also think as well. I do think Disney are aware that some big budget movies are useful to have under their branding, but the minute they slap the Disney logo on it, a certain audience will no longer watch it, and I think that's the issue as well. The minute it's like Disney Stargirl will have a different effect than if it was just Stargirl, of like people's expectations of what it is. So it's like if it said Disney Ford versus Ferrari, you might go into it very differently than what it would be where it said 20th Century Studios Fox versus Ferrari.
That's absolutely true. If I saw Disney's Ford versus Ferrari, I'd probably be expecting something more along the lines of like a Herbie kind of movie. Feel good comedy, lighthearted, whereas just Fox's or Searchlight's Ford versus Ferrari, I'm expecting a serious movie about this race that happened, continues to happen, but that specific event of the race, and you got some big name actors in it, so I expect a drama. Similarly, Stargirl, by putting Disney in front of it, I know this is probably going to be aimed at a younger audience. It's not going to be the DC character Stargirl who like 5 people know about, so
the confusion over that has really got me, so I think that's a good segue really to go into Stargirl. We got the new trailer for the new Disney Plus Stargirl movie, which is going to be coming on March 13th. We saw some pictures earlier in the week, and then the following day they put out the trailer, which just happened to be on the same day that the trailer for Stargirl from DC also broke. So the amount of people kind of going, this is not my Stargirl, and this is the wrong one, and people getting confused of just like, having 2 trailers called Stargirl come out at the same time, very different. I'll be honest. I kind of, the trailer for the movie, I sort of watched it and went, okay. I know it's a very popular book, and I know a lot of people are excited about it, but for me, it was just like, this is, I would almost say, it was like a chick flick kind of thing of like, this is something I would watch on Netflix with my wife, and that would be it. And I would never go out of my way to go watch a movie like this. It's got an audience. It's not for me. I am going to, obviously, we'll watch it, But yeah, for me, the trailer